Let's start with our webinar today. So, as you know, we have a very interesting topic today. So, evolving cyber threat in SaaS. So, and how we can make our SaaS application secure, right? So, it is a very interesting topic. So, I'm very excited to start and hope you all guys are great, have a good health, and thanks everyone who joined at the Friday evening, and hoping you will get so much of knowledge and insight from our webinar. So before starting our webinar, let me introduce myself. So this is Pavitra. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Qualisec. I have almost 7+ years of experience in cybersecurity and penetration testing field. And basically, I'm heading the cybersecurity team here at Qualisec, and I'm very much excited for this today topic, which is evolving cyber threat in SaaS. So before jumping into the evolving cyber threats, let's understand that what is SaaS. Okay, what is a SaaS application? The full form of SaaS is software as a service. So a SaaS application is a mostly cloud-based application that user can access through internet, like using their browser, they can access those software. And the SaaS application no, don't need any installation or anything. You just open our browser, just like the Zoom call that we have joined today, right? It is a SaaS, just like the email that we use, it is a SaaS. So it is like the user may use it as a subscription or like pay as you go basis. So there are major benefit of SaaS, like you see, it is accessibility, unlike the mobile application or desktop application or any other application, SaaS is accessible by anywhere. Like if you have just internet or you have a browser, you can use a SaaS application. No installation needed, no maintenance needed, no mandatory to have updated. It will gonna update it automatically. So everything will be hand by the SaaS product company, right? So they will do everything and you will enjoy the things, right? There are some example of the SaaS application. For example, email, the Google email, Microsoft, right? Calendly, like calendar link, where we right now our meeting got scheduled, right? Office tool, Slack, Google Workspace, Salesforce, Trello, Zoom, DocuSign, they all are SaaS. They provide their software as a service or as a solution, right? So this is the overall basically knowledge, like what is a SaaS application. And moving forward, some details about SaaS breaches, like in past few years, like what is the number. So it is over 43% organization have experienced SaaS security breach in last 2 years. So in 2023 and 2024, what like majority of the organization, like some are the SaaS provider or some are the SaaS consumer, like the data is among all of them. So they consider, okay, they have experienced certain breaches due to the SaaS security. And 90% of the SaaS company, they report that there is a lack of visibility into their security risk. So they didn't understand, okay, the visibility is very minimal in there, and 90% of company feel, okay, we don't have the proper visibility, or we don't confirm you that, okay, you are 100% secure. And there are the average cost of a SaaS data breach is almost 4.2 million US dollar. So this is the average cost of a SaaS application breach. So moving forward, what and why do people need a SaaS application or SaaS security? So there are, like, with our experience working with, dealing with like 100 of SaaS application, with our experience, we divide into 4 part why people need the SaaS security. And there are like 4 things that we have written from maximum people, that, okay, this is the first one is the maximum SaaS company need, and last one is the very least, very few company go for penetration testing or security for that reason. So starting with the main reason, which is the majority, almost 60% of our SaaS client are going for security because of this reason, because their client, like assume it a SaaS company, and their client need a third party penetration testing report to ensure that or to certify them that their SaaS application is secure before even using their platform. For example, someone is providing a messaging SaaS product, right? Or anything, any SaaS product, a enterprise or a bank will going to use. This bank will ask this company, okay, please provide us a third party penetration testing report that mention that your application is secure to use. Second, like there are certain standard or compliance need. For example, SOC 2 type 2 in the SaaS industry, it is mostly needed, and because of this reason also people go for penetration testing and security. Third, like the SaaS application manage many sensitive information, not just their company information, but their client company information as well. So to maintain their security and to make sure that their application will never be hacked by a hacker, they use like they go for penetration testing and security. And the list, very few company who go for penetration testing is just because okay they want to, they have a best practice that okay before we have a best practice to we conduct the penetration testing, and they take the cyber security seriously to maintain their security, like to maintaining their high security standard. So this is the four reason why mostly SaaS company go for the penetration testing or cyber security solution. So moving ahead, like if I tell you that okay, what is the recent data breach in SaaS application? How many, like who are the biggest player in the SaaS application that recently got hacked? So there are many big name actually. So starting with Microsoft. So Microsoft got hacked. Microsoft, this mail API, their Outlook mail API got hacked by a China based hacking group, and in May 2023. So that got hacked. It have a SaaS product that got hacked. The second is a Fortinet. Fortinet is a like cybersecurity giant, right? So a hacker claim, like they also confirm, Fortinet also confirm that okay, there is a data breach of around 440 GB of data they got breached. And then there is AT&T. So recently in this 2024 they also use a massive data breach, like where almost 100 million plus record included name, address, social security number, everything was compromised. And as per this day, as per this November, like November 20 21 22, right? So as per this day, so this is the biggest data breach happened in 2024. This is the AT&T. And if we move ahead, see, we understand okay these are the recent data breach or recent data breach figures. But if we move ahead, if you understand okay in a very technical way that okay what are the major vulnerability that is affecting them, right? Or what is the common vulnerability that we found in SaaS? So we have also listed there that okay what are the common vulnerability we like we usually found in a SaaS application. And this is basically with for like we given this data with our past experience working with, like we have done pen testing for past as a company past 4 years, right? So we have the data, okay these are the common vulnerability that we found here and there on every SaaS application, right? So starting with authorization issue. So it will be little technical, like this kind of issue is very common in a SaaS application. Like authorization issue means like assume we are a list privilege user role, like a normal user. How we can assess the data of admin user role, right? So those kind of issue, either privilege escalation, horizontal or vertical privilege escalation, forced browsing, so those kind of setup are comes under this authorization issue. And every SaaS application that we have worked with, definitely they have some authorization issue. So we mark this as the top most common security vulnerability in SaaS. And there is the second in the common security issue is like account takeover. So in account takeover, there are multiple plenty way to take over a account. Account takeover basically means it's like without even having all the username or password, how we can access their account. For example, if you're going to log in to your Facebook, right, you need your username, password, or if you set up any multi-factor authentication, right? So you need those. But how a hacker without need anything, without even do phishing attack, malware attack, just exploring the software and SaaS product, how they can able to take over the account. So there are several way to take over a account. I have listed few, like for example, a account takeover through the password reset, host error poisoning, brute force attack, insecure login mechanism, response manipulation, insecure MFA, insecure API integration, or insecure account creation. These are certain way through which we can take over a account. For example, just giving you this example of anything. Let's assume it's the brute force, right? So we first try to a hacker will first try to enumerate the username, because there are certain different way to enumerate username, and they just try to brute force the password and easily guess the password and log into it. Although it is hard, but we saw that there are many company does not have a password policy, so it is very easy for a hacker. A password reset functionality also same, like in the password reset they just change the like send the request to change the password, and they manipulate the request in such a way that the password reset link will not send to the victim but sent to the attacker. So in this way they just change their account password and take over their account. So there are multiple way where account takeover happen, and it is like we thought also it is a very common vulnerability nowadays in SaaS platform. And moving forward, so the API vulnerabilities. So every, like most of the SaaS application have use API, like some are use REST, some are use SOAP, GraphQL, but they use some API, right? And these API are the core of the SaaS application that allow integration into other application, right? However, this unsecure API have a very like significant security risk. And below we have listed some API vulnerability, like like excessive data expose, security misconfiguration, SQL injection, broken object level authorization, a broken user authentication. Those kind of issue we found in a SaaS application who use the APIs. And if we move to the fourth level issue, like who that we found very common, is the business logic. It is not very common for other application, but what we feel in a SaaS application, it is more how easy to find a business logic issue. So what is actually a business logic issue? So a business logic issue in a SaaS application security is referred to a vulnerability where the application's intent workflow can be manipulated in such a way that developer didn't expect. Like there is certain workflow in their business they have, right? For example, if let's assume in a SaaS platform there are three plan. One is a basic plan, one is a growth plan, one is a premium plan, right? And someone buy a basic plan, and how they trickle it, how they change the request or something else so that they can use the feature of a premium user. So this cannot be detected by the developer, right? But these issue we found very common nowadays, because there are multiple way, like this request manipulation or response manipulation. These are very multiple way where we do the business logic. We found many business logic issue, and this is very common nowadays also we see. And the fifth one is we listed is not very much common earlier, but recently due to our like R&D support, we encounter, okay, there is certain level of security issue that we can found, right? This is a new issue that we have added to our list, and we found, okay, every application have some issue related to this. So what is the issue is, it's response manipulation. So the in the response manipulation, what will happen? So like uh, assume it it's a web browser send a request to the server send the response to the web browser, and the web browser show us. So we send the request, for example, any request to the server. When server send the response, we manipulate this response and get the result. For example, a scenario, assume it there is a web page which having login and password form, and if someone put their login name as, let's say, Pavitra, password as XYZ, they just enter the request sent to the server verify, okay, this is a positive response or negative response. If this is a positive response, it will send, okay, login. If it is a negative response, it will say, okay, wrong password or username, right? So if we and assume we put a wrong username password, and the server send us okay wrong username password, we modify it this response and mention okay login, right? So this kind of issue is very common nowadays, and we found like multiple issue in this way. And like not just the account takeover, login page bypass, business logic issue, there are multiple variety of issue can be found through the response manipulation. So these are the top 5 common vulnerability that we feel okay these can be founded or can be like easily uh, can be found by any penetration testing team. So these are little technical, so let's move to a little non-technical things, which is like what will be the best practice. We understand okay what is the SaaS, what is why people need SaaS, and what are the common vulnerability in SaaS application. But what are the like best practices to enhance a SaaS security? So the first, use like multiple security measure. Like you can use WAF. It will be very good feature. Like every SaaS application use WAF. Like it will tune this anti-automation attack. It will tune the block the IP of like any hacker IP. So it will gonna block. So use WAF, use SSO, use PMI. But most important, do a very deep penetration testing, like to make sure that okay our application is secure. First we have to hack it and ensure that okay our application is hackable or not, or our SaaS product is actually hackable by a hacker or not. So first hack it in a very positive way, like in technical term we call it penetration testing. Like a ethical hacker will perform or act as a hacker and perform pen test on the platform, and they found certain issue, report to their development team and fix this it, right? So go for a very deep penetration testing, not just a scanning or anything. And if you go for the pen testing, make sure that you have to follow the OAuth standard, niche standard, PTS and OSHTMM, SANS. There are multiple variety of standard, and try to combine multiple standards so that you can get the best out of it. And make sure the report format should be in NIST or CBSS. So it will be very important. But because when you go for any compliances, or when you go for any when you share this report to any of your client, that should be valid, right? Otherwise the reason of the pen testing will not align. So we should maintain the quality of work by using certain industry standard and regulations. And also use latest information. Like as I mentioned, this response manipulation is very new, but it is very impactable, right? It's very powerful. So use this latest information on cybersecurity threat to test the whole SaaS product, right? And find out okay whether your SaaS product is actually robust for the newly generated risk or not. And the best way, go for a professional help, like a company like us, like company like Qualisec, where we help SaaS companies to secure them. Go for them, and take professional help, and perform the pen test, ask them for the report, perform the fixing, ask them for the retest and complete it. And and this penetration testing should be done on a regular basis, quarterly basis or biannual basis. So there are multiple way people just follow okay let's do annual basis, but it is not the best practice. Like if you can do biannually or quarterly, it will be much better. So moving forward, how Qualise can help you, like how we usually help our client, is actually we first check for the weak post. Like as I mentioned, we do very deep pen testing. So we not just the scanning activity, we do the very deep pen testing testing, and we identify vulnerabilities across over whole your application, like from login to logout or in between, everything will going to check. And we'll also test for the latest threat, like since we update our database on a regular basis, so whatever the latest threat are present in the market or arise in the market, we push or we pull into our database and we perform the test. And we do hybrid testing, like we use automation tool as well as we use the manual pen testing. But here with the automation and manual, we also use a data driven process that can predict that, okay, in this kind of application having this technology and functionality, we have a higher chance of finding those kind of issues. So those kind of capability we do have. And there is a detailed reporting also we do provide, like in a report, like assume that what is the name of the vulnerability, their description, consequence, where we found the issue, how we found the issue with the screenshot, and how your development team fix it with the guidelines. All right, so we do provide them. We do also provide them the support, remediation support, so that your team, when they're fixing, if they need any help, we can help them. As well as we perform the retest, so that to ensure that, okay, the issue that we have found in previously has been completely fixed. So these are the one of the case study, from SaaS based customer that we have secured. Is like one European SaaS based company. They want to perform the test because for the SOC 2 reason and to make sure their application is secure. And we have conducted a very deep penetration testing on their application, and we found almost 15 security issue, including 2 critical and 4 high, like which include the business logic and response manipulation issue as well. And there is also another case study of a very large SaaS company in USA. I can take the name, but yeah, it's a very large USA based company. Actually, they are client which is a usually bank. So ask them to give them a third party penetration testing report, and they come to us. We perform the test. We found many issue, like including either privilege escalations, and their team fix it. We do the retesting and make sure that everything is in line, and our retest report mentioning that, okay, all critical high and medium level are fixed. And then they share this report to their client, and now they are actually partnering with their client. So this is all about like what we do in SaaS. And if I talk about Qualisec a little, so that we are into this business like 4 year into this business, we have almost 150 client and completed almost 600 assessment, and our client is all across like 21 countries. And the best part of our journey is, like, till now whatever the assessment we have done, we didn't receive a single data breach report of our any existing client, which represent that, okay, how effective and how efficient our solution is. And these are some the SaaS based client that we have. So we add very few. And these are our track record. And this is how a SaaS, this is how a SaaS based company actually get help from Qualys.